The real reason Alphonse would get up in the middle of the night. Alphonse would get up each night to meet with his friend, online through his phone that is, Pierre Paul Rene, a gentle boy with a one-note voice who was never surprised by anything, and whom only he, Alphonse, was acquainted with. Alphonse would sit in the kitchen, phone illuminating his face for hours, texting with Pierre Paul Rene. In the time it took to go from the bathroom to the kitchen, Alphonse and Pierre Paul Rene could live out 1,000 adventures just through a few taps on their screen. Pierre Paul Rene first appeared to him in the private messages of a social media site during some stormy night when Alphonse had gotten up to get a glass of water. The closed shutters painted the room with a thick jelly black. The storm was magnificent. Alphonse was very thirsty. The kitchen was far away, very far away. Between the kitchen and Alphonse lay the hallway, and in the hallway, anything could happen. Because first Alphonse had to go all the way down the hallway to reach the switch that would fill in the light. That cold hallway that led to a bottomless living room and a dining room that loudly digested creaky wood. Alphonse's pajamas were too big, too long. Getting out of bed seemed unthinkable under such conditions. But he was so thirsty, and the water would be so nice and cool in the earthenware jug. And that night, when he went back to bed, Alphonse opened his laptop. He typed stories of Pierre Paul Rene. Strange stories. Very strange stories. Pierre Paul Rene was sitting at the foot of a building. Children played serenely in the shade of some trees, frolicking gaily in the grass. Pierre Paul Rene was happy. Then the daylight dissolved into silence. The children disappeared, and the trees were levitating. Suddenly, sucked up by a giant vacuum cleaner that appeared out of a continuosity of clouds, Pierre Paul Rene found himself in a tube that smelled like sausages and seashells. Pierre Paul Rene thought it was the end of the world, but didn't scream, since he was a gentle boy with a one-note voice who was not surprised by anything. He remained calm as his body continued to be dragged down. Pierre Paul Rene saw 5 nightlights that lit up the darkness. That fallen princess famous for frightening children. He calls out, "Yo, is anybody there?" A reply comes, "Yes, there's Sabian the Fourth, your king, and I've chosen you for a mission." "Why me?" "Because you're the only child left." Sabian continues, "The mission is crucial, Pierre Paul and Rene. You need to bring back the children of our country. There are no more cakes. The pastry chefs have disappeared. Some dead, others eaten by the enemy, and the rest turned into popcorn." Pierre Paul Rene, who was never surprised, was a bit surprised. "No more cakes?" he said. "No. Pierre Paul Rene, you must go to Pastryburg and bring back the cake recipes. And don't forget the children. Remember me." Sabian the Fourth opened the great vacuum cleaner, and Pierre Paul Rene walked out. The landscape around him was extremely indecisive. The sky was changing colors, the trees did not know the season, losing their leaves for new ones to grow immediately. Pierre Paul Rene was faced with so much indecision it was overwhelming. He did not know where to begin his journey or which direction to go. He thinks to himself, "I have to make a decision."